Hi! So, I have decided to start doing videos from Kismet, and this is my very first one of this genre. We have a lot of videos on our channel about, sorry, I'm gonna get a little more organized here. It's my first one, so I'm not terribly organized. But this is coming straight from my inner child, so perfection is not the way we're gonna do this. Okay, I'm really sorry. Okay. I have to have a loyal fan base for this to be okay. Good Lord. Okay, I am not gonna erase this and do this over again. Okay, it's just gonna have to be from this lower angle. Okay, so, sorry for all that. Okay, so yes, we have a lot of videos about the cards and so forth, and there are a lot of really great instructional ones there if you are a student of the cards. This is Bob. Hello. This is Gladys. But today we're starting a new chapter because I am just going to see my inner child came to a board meeting this morning that I had in my head. And she's like, I know what I want to do. And the director of my board, who is very adult, said, which diamonds can be, I'm the 7 of diamonds, said, okay, you can go out and do a field test. So just have at it. So this is how my psyche has become okay with me approaching it this way. And as you can see, my inner child is just really happy. I'm really excited about this. So, because she gets to do her thing. And this is one of the things that brings us joy. I was listening to an Alicia Power video recently, and she just lists all the things that create joy in our life. And one of them is to act out your creativity. Another thing I did to act out my creativity is I've been reading Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. Decided to just get the book experience again and come across that little song that Bilbo sings when he leaves the Shire. Let's see. The road goes on and ever on, down from the door where it began. And I already have written 2 songs after the little poems in Tolkien's work. And I thought, there's been a song in my head that takes off from the movie song that Bilbo sings. And I just sat down at the piano and worked and worked and worked until I kind of had this song. And I will post it someday. It's not quite ready, but anyway. So actuating. Is there something that your inner child wants to do? And if that's hard for you to access, and I totally understand that, I really want to introduce some simple, easy exercises that will help to create a bridge and a bond with your inner child so that you have access to this voice in you. So this is my favorite one, and I discovered this when I was in college. It is so freaking hot here. I think I have to move this child off my lap. Here she is, larger than life. Anyway, she's just gonna have to wave from the side for a minute. I had a little stuffed orangutan, and when I was at college, my background in therapy is that my parents had therapy, my older siblings had therapy. And I knew enough to know that I had an inner child. So I was at college and I was looking at this stuffed orangutan. I actually put it on the driver's wheel. I was driving, and it looked mad at me. And I was like, okay, how can a stuffed animal be mad at me? So I just explored it. I thought, okay, true to the 7 of diamonds style, just if it's weird, just go with it. And as I began to interview my stuffed animal, why are you mad at me? I got to some really core stuff really fast, and it was magical. And I knew I'm projecting my thoughts and feelings into this stuffed animal, inner child stuff. So when I had EMDR therapy a couple of years ago for a repressed memory that came out of the frickin' blue after 37 years of sitting there somewhere in my psyche, the first thing that we did was establish the internal team. And on my Facebook page, Paula Kruger, I I give a little exercise on that, one of them. I'm sorry, I need to start titling these so that you can find them, but anyway, during that EMDR therapy, I acquired Gladys. See how she has kind of a perennial smile on her face? It's probably better to get a neutral looking stuffed animal, but you know, here's how it works. So I just decide to check in at any random moment. It's very good to get into the practice of this because you know how children like routine, they like predictability, they like stories where they can begin to anticipate what's coming up. If you have a time that your inner child knows you're going to sit down, keep your appointments with your inner child. I can't stress that enough. Hey, let's go out for ice cream at 3. Make sure you do that because this really is like another person inside you and it begins to develop trust. So, sorry, I've got something hanging on the line back there and it keeps snapping in the breeze. Okay, so anyway, here's Gladys and here's what I would do. And it's good to sit down anytime, routine, or especially if something is up for you. But I would just sit down with her and I would just look into her eyes. And see, they're just black, nondescript black, you know, so I can easily project with my psyche whatever's going on with me. So how are you today? I usually just look at her. She's looking at me expectantly, and then I begin to feel something in my heart, and I just stay with that, and that's my inner child responding. Are you waiting for something? She's waiting for me to just acknowledge her and look at her and spend time with her. So this is where your adult can hop in and be defensive. Well, I'm spending time with you right now. And she's like, how do you need me to spend time with you? She's like, just hold me and I'm sad. I just discovered that a very important person in my life at one point who was my boss believed in me without... I worked there for 2 years before she knew I had a master's degree in the field that it was education. And well, I have an undergraduate in education, but I have a master's in psychology, and she didn't know that for 2 years because she hired me because she just believed in me. She just got me. And she died recently, and I have not taken time to feel sad about that. So I don't know where to take the conversation from here, so I'm just going to continue to look at her. Okay, and now there's this soft, receptive energy because she feels heard. I know this seems crazy, okay, but it really works. It's projection. We do it all day long. If you're angry at Donald Trump, you're projecting some aspect of yourself onto him and punishing it. You know, if you love something cuddly and sweet, it's because you're cherishing something cuddly and sweet in yourself. So she's just quiet, and so what I'm going to do is just hug her. And as my therapist said, what's really important is the energy you give. So if I feel like I'm receiving something, it's because I am. I'm receiving it from an aspect of myself. So I am a 7 of diamonds, and I have had to practice self-esteem and inner child work for, you know, decades, my whole life, because it's like you come in with a gap. We all have, I don't know, missing pieces, wounds from before we're even born. And my gap is in the area of self-esteem. And 7 of diamonds have come here to learn their value, their unique value, the fact that they're strange and quirky and unusual. Lucille Ball, Andy Warhol, Alfred Lord Tennyson. Let's see, who's another one? I think John Travolta. Anyway, look up the list of 7 of diamonds, famous people. Just like type in a couple of the 7 of diamonds birthdays and you'll see how the unusual company that you keep. And if you know a 7 of diamonds, one of the ways that you can love them is to tell them that they're precious and valuable just because they are. I mean, you know, performance, praising our performance is great and everything, but knowing that we are worthy and of value just because we exist, that's a really core piece that we're here to heal. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I welcome your comments and feedback, and please go to itiskismet.com to find out what your card is. That's a wrap. I don't know how to turn this off. I watch people not know how to do this. Okay, sorry. It's just gonna be embarrassing. Maybe the X? Yes, I want to stop streaming.